Starting with breaking news that Arizona Senator John McCain has been diagnosed with brain cancer.
The tumor was found when the Republican had a blood clot removed, and we first alerted you through a News4Jax push alert. We sent at 8:18 tonight. Mayo Clinic doctors told our news partners at CNN that McCain, who is 80 years old, has a primary glioblastoma. That's the same type of brain tumor that Ted Kennedy had. According to the American Brain Tumor Association, glioblastoma is a particularly aggressive tumor that forms in the tissue of the brain and spinal cord. The operation to remove the tumor took place last Friday. His doctors told CNN they were amazed at how sharp the 80-year-old was when he awakened from sedation. He even started cracking jokes with the doctors. McCain was discharged Saturday. He has been recovering at his home since then. His daughter just released a statement on Twitter tonight, which reads in part, "News of my father's illness has affected every one of us in the McCain family. My grandmother, my mother, brothers, and sister and I have all endured the shock of the news, and now we live with anxiety about what comes next."
And McCain's diagnosis is the latest chapter in the senator's storied life. He was tortured as a Vietnam prisoner of war, and he fell short of the White House with 2 failed presidential runs. Now, I had the opportunity to speak with Senator McCain just a few years ago. He was here in Jacksonville, stumping for Mitt Romney, and he spent some time talking with us. This is a night of the final presidential debate during that 2012 campaign, where he made time right after the debate to tell you, our viewers, what he thought of that important race.
You know, he's known as being larger than life, a true war hero. But when you meet him in person, he's humble. This is me and my husband with a senator at a dinner in South Florida just last fall. Marty, my husband, calls him a true friend and patriot. And the last time I had seen him before this picture was taken was while interviewing him in his 2008 run for president. And I have to tell you, separate from politics, McCain is widely admired here in Jacksonville because of his service to our country, of course, as a Navy pilot, and his heroism when he was a POW and when he returned here to Jacksonville in 1973. When you realize what he endured in Vietnam as a prisoner of war, he will no doubt fight this cancer valiantly.
Well, and I want to tell you a personal story there, because when I interviewed him in 2012, I brought along my very interested teenager who was interested in politics. It was a public event. And when Senator McCain saw my son Jonathan, he said, "That's a great name. Come here, kid, let's talk." And they spent probably 10 minutes talking, where Senator McCain emphasized, your dad should take you up to Annapolis because they got a pretty good school there. The Naval Academy.
Just like him to do.
Yeah, it really showed his personality there, again, beyond politics. And we're continuing to gather national reaction that's pouring into our newsroom, and we'll bring that to you as it comes in. For right now, former U.S. Senator, former Governor in Florida, Bob Graham, is joining us now over the phone. Senator, thank you for joining us. Your thoughts here as you hear about what's going on with Senator McCain, someone I understand you have some good affection for.
Kent, thank you for this opportunity. I want to say that statement by John's daughter was a beautiful commentary on her father. I've known John since we were both elected at the same time in 1986, went into the Senate in 87, served on some of the same committees, got to be very close. I think he was Republican, I'm a Democrat, but we basically were people who were focused on what's good for the country, not what happens to be good at that time for our political party. And I think John has demonstrated that in the recent months with some of the current controversies going on in the Senate. He is truly a patriot and a role model for America.
Senator Mary Bear here, just wanting to know, as a Floridian, the senator's connection to Florida and his true patriotism, of course, for our state, for our nation. Do you feel, though, that that he truly is a Floridian in every sense as well, even though he is in Arizona?
Yes, I think that, and I believe he thinks of Florida as being his second home. He, after he was released from that terrible prison in North Vietnam, he came back to Jacksonville, where he had lived prior to his service in Vietnam, and he still has a strong family and friends following in Jacksonville.
Yeah, he sure does. Senator, just as Mary and I talk about this in our little bit of a connection with Senator McCain, it can evoke some strong emotion. How are you feeling tonight, knowing that this kind of battle is going on for your friend, Senator McCain?
Well, I'm feeling very sad for John and for his family. John is a very vigorous person. He lives every day with joy and enthusiasm, and to realize that he's now going to be facing a very serious disease, and I think he'll face it down just as he did his captors in Vietnam. He's that kind of guy.
Former President Obama tweeted out tonight, give him hell, John. Truly, if anybody is facing something like this, it does seem like this war hero could fight it.
And he represents a proud family tradition. His father and his grandfather were admirals in the Navy, and he followed in their tradition. He represents the very best of America.
Senator Bob Graham, former Florida Governor Bob Graham, we appreciate hearing some of your insights tonight as we continue following this breaking news.